Greetings and welcome to some fresh skunts. In today's episode, we will be putting a spotlight on the recent interview that was done at Kaichur News with Jagdio and Kiana Wilberg via her bald head avatar, Glenn Lai. Oh, before I forget, he's being referred to as Dr. Glenn Lai now.
Kaichur News publisher Dr. Glenn Lai and Vice President Dr. Jagdio.
I'm not sure where we're getting all these doctors from, but since you could just call yourself a doctor without going through the academic gauntlet to achieve that title, call me Dr. Skunt for now. Peep the intro quick and let me tell y'all what's going on with Dr. Lai now and how he gets skin up on his own platform.
Hey, something ever surprise you like when you see it, what?
Before we get started, if you're into skunts, don't dep on skunt. Press that subscribe button and turn on post notifications so you can get updates when we post new videos. Now Guyanese, before I say what I'm about to say here, I want to state unequivocally, I am not a supporter of the PPP, nor am I a supporter of the PNC. But sometimes my views are aligned with one or the other. I'm here to speak the truth, and if the truth happens to fall with agreement with some of the views of the PPP, it does not make me a PPP. That's the first thing I want to make clear. Secondly, I have no respect for Glenn Lai because he blatantly lies through his newspapers for God knows what reason, and he got sued multiple times and lost the cases over lies. He is not a credible source. You could tell that A, he is trying to excite Guyanese into agreement, and B, he is trying to attract controversy to propel his news brand. In his recent interview with Jagdio, some of these lies came out and were immediately debunked on his live program. In no particular order, here are some of my observations after watching the interview. First thing, Mibay got a big teleprompter in front of him, and though nothing is wrong with that, we all know who was the person behind the questions because Dr. Lai is not an intellectual. And I nearly dead with laugh when I saw that Mibay had to be told by the teleprompter when to shut his skunt and listen to the answer. Full clown show style. Another thing that's worth noting is that both Dr. Lai and Kiana Wilberg seem to have very limited understanding of how the oil companies are set up. And though Jagdio was trying his best to explain, Dr. Lai just wouldn't get it. For example, Dr. Lai is calling for real-time monitoring of the oil companies' expenses and had to be reminded that Guyana cannot monitor the expenditure of the oil companies because Guyana is not a shareholder. Guyana is entitled to 50% profits outside of cost recovery and 2% royalty, which nets us to close to 59% of the total profit share annually. But we don't run the day-to-day operations of the oil company. Imagine if you have an oil company named Muddy Oil and you come and say, look Guyana, you have oil, but it's going to cost billions of US dollars to get this oil out. Let's take it out for you, and you're gonna get 59% of the profits. But you don't have to wait until we get back all reinvestment to start collecting. We will carve out a 25% and split it with you until we recover we investment. Then after that, it will rain money. This formula is plain as day in the production sharing agreement, but Dr. Lai does not understand. Him wanting real-time monitoring of expenses would mean that he expects the government to go and sit down in Muddy Oil and tell the Muddy Oil people what brand and quality of equipment to buy and which supply vessel to use and so on. You know, like a big skunt. The third point is the issue with full coverage insurance. The company has $600 million set aside in the event that there's a major setback like an oil spill. And the EPA has a lien on their assets here in Guyana which exceeds $6 billion. If there is a major catastrophe that the $600 million cannot cover, then the EPA could move on the assets to make up the difference. What other insurance Dr. Lai wants? I don't know. But in my opinion, I think that's adequate coverage. Now, there's no one in Guyana that has a lower opinion of Jagdio than me. I'm 100% positive that he doesn't like me either. And we're still waiting on answers about Sue. I especially can't look at it too long because of the coconut oil concentration reflecting light into my eyes. But wrong is wrong and right is right. If you think Glenn Lai is more competent than Jagdio in the area of economics, then you, my friend, is a big skunt. In closing, I want to say this. There are legitimate concerns surrounding the arrangement we have with the oil companies operating here in Guyana. In my opinion, that contract is indeed lopsided. We could have gotten a better deal. But don't follow Dr. Glenn Lai and his skunts. Don't even follow me. I urge you to do your own research and form opinions of your own. The blind cannot lead the blind. I could bet money that Dr. Glenn Lai used to sit down at the back of the class in high school. He reeks of dunceness. One more thing. If Exxon is inflating their costs to rob Guyana out of profits, it will come up in the audits and we will clap some hot knuckle in this skunt, starting with Rutledge. It would also mean that they're robbing their partners, Hess and Sino. Let's wait for the auditors to complete their work before we rush to judgment. And I urge the government to make these audit reports public so we Guyanese could see for ourselves. For those of you who disagree with my assessment here in this video, let me know in the comments how you feel. I understand that we're not always going to agree, especially when agreement might hurt political feelings. Yo, my name is Mudwata. Boom out!
Hold up.